Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm your faithful girlfriend Coco, and welcome to Thirst for Love, a channel where people come on and not only talk about their favorite beverages, but they revisit love stories from happy to sad to crazy to just outrageous. So stay tuned and don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment down below. Let's go.
Hello, Coco. How are you today?
Fine, ladies and gentlemen. I have my friend Jocelyn Store here. And welcome to Thirst for Love, Miss Josh.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All righty. So can you tell me what's in your story glass?
So, my story glass tonight, I have Monterey beer from, I think it's Mexico. It might be Canada. I don't even know. But it's got a twist of lime in it. So, there you go.
Oh, so okay, I'm not a beer drinker, so tell me like what kind of beer is this? Like?
So, it's kind of like a cross between a Bud Light and a Corona.
Okay.
Okay. If my beer drinkers out there, like I said, now I'm not crazy about, IPAs and dark lagers and stuff like that. I am a simple girl that likes a simple beer.
All right.
And I like them to be cheap. So that's it.
Oh, she likes cheap. That's
except not Miller High Life because that's headache beer.
Okay. So that is the reason why you like this is your favorite drink of all time because
it's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
what's another one? Just off the top of your head.
Another one is a Bloomin' Ruby, which is my creation. Oh. You take Cruzan blueberry lemonade rum. You add a splash of ruby red grapefruit juice and a Calypso blue ocean lemonade. And it tastes like an alcoholic blue Jolly Rancher.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it'll get you where you need to go, but you're going to need a ride back.
Well, we're talking about blue oceans. Let's introduce everybody to your love life right now. Like,
okay.
Where are you at right now?
I am married. I have been married for 15 and a half, going on 16 years to the illustrious Mr. We'll just call him Mr. Yep. So, and it's been a ride. It's been fun.
So where'd you meet this Mr.?
I met Mr. in Nassau, Bahamas, but really I met him on a chat line. I mean, internet dating is what I mean. Yeah, I call it chat line. Anyway, it was a chat room for Bahamians. And so one year, my girlfriend, we used to go in the 90s. I had a girlfriend that for every one of her birthdays, we would go to Freeport, Bahamas. And we stay there for a few days. So there was one year that I had changed jobs. We weren't able to go for her birthday because I didn't have any vacation time yet. And so we decided that instead of going to the Bahamas that year, we would bring the Bahamas to us. So I got online and found ibahamian.com. I don't know if they're still up or not. I don't think they are. And Mr. was the first person to send me a direct message. And I wasn't that terribly impressed with him at first because he was very reserved. And he is, if you meet him, he is actually a reserved person until you get to know him. Yeah. Then he's really, really funny, great energy. So we talked from, I'm going to say late October until early January, and then we planned a trip. We were going to plan our trip for the following year down there to Freeport, but he was in Nassau. And so he said, hey, instead of going to Freeport this year, how about if you guys redirect and come to Nassau and I'll show you guys around, see something different.
Okay, a man that knows what he wants, huh?
There you go. And so the girls agreed. We went down there. He and his friend, one of his friends, picked us up from the airport. And I should mention here that all of this is very sketchy behavior. This is there's nothing here. Meet somebody on the internet, leave your home country, travel across the waters to a foreign country where you don't even know. I wasn't even familiar with Nassau, and then get in a car, have some strangers pick you up at the airport. We could have been MIA right now.
Disclaimer here, please don't.
Disclaimer, don't do that. Especially in this day and age, honey, you be sold into sex trafficking so fast.
And that is the truth.
Yeah. So anyway, but it worked out well. my girlfriends. I had two girlfriends that we went on a trip with, and so we got down there, and he showed us around, and I got to meet his people, and we had a ball. We had a ball while we were down there.
And the rest is history. Now she's Mrs. to his Mister.
Yes, yes.
And it's a great thing. So we all know that on your journey, on our journeys to love and thirst for love, we have ups and downs, one ways, dead ends, cul-de-sacs, whatever. So on your
The cul-de-sac of love.
oh yes, oh, yes. Hey,
I've been in the cul-de-sac of love before.
oh, okay.
Yep, I was punting his clothes and his shoes out into the cul-de-sac. Yep.
Okay.
In front of a busload of children too. That was the
That's another
yep.
interview.
That's a whole nother interview. Yep.
So
Anyway, go ahead.
let's talk about your mission to find love. What was one of your either your craziest, your the most fun quest for love, or just boring, or one of the greatest love stories ever told? I know you just told the first greatest love story. That was you and your husband.
Right.
But we're going to talk about something from the past that when you're sipping on your story glass, you can kind of go down memory lane with us and tell us, because we all believe in a great or horrible love story. Yes, that type of show, guys.
So a story that immediately comes to mind is I was in my 20s. I was in my, I'm going to say my late 20s, something like that. And I had gone to this club here locally. We're here locally in Cincinnati. Gone to this club called Brandy's. And at that time, there's an old Brandy's. See, you have to distinguish here between the old Brandy's and the new Brandy's, and the old Skippers and the new Skippers. And yeah. So at that time, Brandy's and Skippers were the two clubs that we, as you know, in our heyday, that we would attend, go to.
Turn up. We would say
exactly.
Kick it.
Yeah, we will kick it.
But this day they say turn up.
Right. So I'm in there and I meet this guy. His name's Leon. Leon from Seattle, Washington. And I'm not changing names to protect the innocent because dude was something different. So anyway, but he approached me, and see, I'm a sucker for a comedian. That's the thing. Like, if you want to approach me, jokes. That's it. Like, nothing serious, nothing. Yeah.
Yes.
And so, but he approached me and he stood there and talked to me, and he was everything that I'm initially not really attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
He was about my height, maybe a couple inches taller. He was high yellow. And I know I'm high yellow, but two high yellow people. You see, this eyeliner, honey, is doing a number to my eyeballs right now. But anyway, I'm attracted to dark skinned men. And so, but he stood there, he seemed like a nice enough dude. He was funny. Bought me a drink, and, he asked for my number, and I'm like, yeah, sure. You know what? Stop being so superficial. I was much thinner then too. Not that I'm not picky now, because honey, fat and all, I am something different. But anyway, so he was like, I really want to take you out. He was like, how about if I come and get you? And I want to say we talked like during that week on the phone for a few times, but he had told me in the conversation that he worked third shift.
Okay.
And so he said, how about if I take you out on Saturday? I said, okay. He said, I will have worked or whatever that night, but I'll try to go home, get some rest. And then, I'll take you out. We'll go to dinner and then we'll go to a movie.
Sounds good.
Sounds promising, right?
Yes,
right. Okay. So we had decided we were going to go see Jackie Brown. This was when the movie Jackie Brown had just come out. Mm-hmm. Jackie Brown is a really long movie. It's like 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours long.
Yes.
Really long movie. So he comes and he picks me up. First of all, he picks me up in a conversion van. And I'm just going to reiterate here that I engaged in some very sketchy behavior, clearly. When I read this back to myself in my brain, I'm like, you got into a conversion van with another stranger. But okay.
We got some issues going on here, girl.
We do. Yep. Living La Vida Loca. Anyway, so I get in the van and we get maybe a block away from my house. And he said, Hey, well, first of all, when he showed up on my doorstep, his eyes were blood red. Like when I say blood red, like this color red. And I said, "Ooh," I'm like, "Your eyes are really red." He was like, "Well, I work third shift. I haven't been to bed yet." And I'm like, "Okay, this seems like a legitimate excuse."
Yeah.
He didn't seem incapacitated in any way.
Okay.
So we get in the van. We get about a block from the house, and he said, "Hey, do you smoke?" And I said, "Smoke what?" I said, "No."
Mm-hmm.
He said, because I kind of knew what he was referring to. And he was like, "Well, you don't mind if I do you?" And he pulls out this huge blunt and lights it up in the car.
Mm.
So I just rolled down my window. I'm like, okay, I can see. Right now, I'm writing you off. I'm like,
yes.
like this is our first and last date, but it is what it is. Because I really wanted the food and the movie.
Really?
So first we go to Dos Amigos when it was up on Coleraine Avenue. And so and that's when they were like jam packed. So we go in there, we have to sit at the bar to wait to be seated. And I had gotten a margarita. And the margarita was, it wasn't like the fishbowl margarita, but it was a large margarita.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching some game up on one of the teleprompters. Up on one of the television sets. And I look over and he stuck another second straw into my margarita, and he's drinking out of it.
Oh, really? He's drinking?
He didn't ask me like, "Hey, yes." He's drinking out of my drink. So when I looked over, I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh," I said, "You can have it. You can just have it." Because I don't trade saliva with people like that. No. I may be sketchy getting in and out of cars, but I have enough sense to know I don't want your herpes, zoster, whatever you got going on.
Right.
So he was like, "Oh, you ain't got to be funny acting. You ain't got to be funny. You so funny acting. Not." So long story short, we end up getting seated. We're sitting there. Now keep in mind too now that when we're at the bar, he's high. Okay? Because we didn't, he didn't smoke a blunt in the car.
Yeah.
Okay. So during dinner time, the weed started to wear off and the paranoia set in. And he sat through dinner. And he said, "You don't like me, do you? You don't like me, do you? You don't like me, do you?" Like Rain Man. "You don't like me, do you? Well, why don't you like me? Why don't you like me?" And I said, "I don't know you."
Right.
I'm like, I haven't even been able to form to form an informed decision about you because you were smoking in the car. We get here to the restaurant. We couldn't really talk at the bar. Plus, I was already turned off anyway. And then you do some.
You got your straw in my drink.
You got your straw in my drink. And so we made it through dinner. We head to the movies. He starts smoking again between the restaurant and the movie. So we get to the show and he hands me the money. He said, "You can go in there and get our tickets and go in ahead and get popping whatever you want as a snack. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up here in the car." Really? He's finished smoking his blunt. So I go in there, I get the tickets. He comes in. And again, we get into the movies. Now, keep in mind, I really wanted to see this movie. You done already messed up my dinner. So I really want to see this movie. We go in there. He starts talking through the 3-hour movie. It was 3 solid hours of, "You don't like me, do you? You don't like me, do you? You don't like me, do you?" So I'm furious. We leave there. I'm like, just go ahead and take me home. Now, by this time, it's dark. So we get down to the corner and he said, "Oh, I'm not ready to take you home just yet. Here, I'm going to call my sister real quick." This is when they still had payphones. So he pulls over real quick in the parking lot. And I'm like, "No, dude, I want to go home." He's like, "No, they want to go down on the boat. My sister wants to go down on the boat. Come on, I'll give you some money to gamble with." Now, under normal circumstances, if you had told me I'm going to give you money to gamble with, I'd have been like, "You know what? Maybe this date is not going so bad."
But this was not a normal circumstance.
This was not normal circumstances. It was not. So we get he talked to his sister and I told him, I said, "Honey, I'm not going. I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm not going." I said, I just want to go home. Now we are 10 minutes from my house. We're headed down, and this is when I smoked cigarettes for about 3 years, kind of bad decision. Don't smoke cigarettes. But only for about 3 years, I was a light smoker. So we were headed down to probably about 2 blocks from my house. I said, hey, can you stop at the store real quick? I got to run in here and get me some cigarettes. He said, oh, what kind of cigarettes do you smoke? He said, I got some Newports on me if you want one of those. Because at this point, I was a little shook. And I said, no, I don't want a Newport. I said, that's like hitting a crack pipe. What did I say that for? This man said, his little face lit up. He said, just pure joy. It was just pure joy. He said, you smoke crack? He was like, I said, no, I don't smoke crack. What's wrong with you? I said, I'm saying Newports are too strong for me. I smoke basics. Right. He said, no, you don't. You smoke crack. He's like, go on ahead. Tell the truth and shame the devil. He said, you smoke crack, don't you? He's like, it's okay, because I smoke crack too. I said, dude, take me home. Take me home right now. Right now. Matter of fact, I'll just get out and walk because I'm close enough now I can walk. We get up to, there's a park right down the street from my house. And he busts a U. Keep in mind, it's dark outside and I'm in a conversion van. He busts a U up into the park and he's like, I'm just not ready to take you home yet. I'm not ready to take you home yet. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to fight my way out of here. Yes. But I'm close enough that I could walk it off. Mm-hmm. So I told him, I said, I'm gonna tell you right now that I ain't that easy. Like, right. don't let this light skin and this good grammar get you effed up.
Yeah, it's time to fight now.
So he was like, oh, so anyway, he went ahead and pulled out of the park and went on. He dropped me off home. He's, are you going to be, can I call you? I'm like, dude, lose my number. Don't call me again. No, nothing. And he called me for a solid week. Like Stalker called me for a solid week and then finally died off. But that was the worst date. Leon from Seattle, Washington.
Wow. Yep. Well, I tell you this, but it all paid off because now you're with the love of your life. And you can enjoy your favorite drink.
Yes, and I can enjoy my favorite beverage. Yep.
Yes. Well, thank you, Joyce, for coming and spreading your quest and thirst for love with us, sharing your favorite drink and one of your favorite stories. I'm sure I'll have you come back and tell us some more stories.
So many.
Because I know you have so many. And remember, guys, all our disclaimers. For one, don't go to another country and jump in a car with a stranger. And don't jump into a van with someone.
Stay away from conversion vans. Stay away from jumping into cars with strangers in foreign countries. That's the advice that I can give you, although it did kind of work out for me.
Well, thank you for joining me on Thirst for Love. And
thank you for having me, sweetie.
Hey guys, thank you, Jocelyn Store, for a wonderful first run at Thirst for Love. And if you're interested on coming on to Thirst for Love, please hit me up at thirstforlove@gmail.com or subscribe, like, or comment below. We're always looking for anyone that has interesting stories and would like to share their favorite drink. Come on. The thirst is real.